The 5 seed Los Angeles Rams heading up the coast take on the 1 seed Seattle Seahawks. Game kicks off at Lumen Field, 3:30 Pacific time. This game kicks off on Fox with Kevin Burkhardt, Tom Brady, Aaron Andrews, Tom Rinaldi will be on the sideline, but we get the A team from Fox with KB and TB on that one. Rams, for you bettors, are plus 2.5, plus 128 on the money line. And the over-under sitting at 47.5. So that means the books have this kind of like 24, 22-ish, right in that range. So they actually think that this game's going to be extremely close. They're guessing like a 1-point game, essentially, effectively, and reasonable because obviously these are two really, really good football teams. And realistically speaking, this is probably the best matchup of the rest of the playoffs. This is it, man. This is the one. So that other game, I don't know if that's going to be that close. It very well could be. And then obviously we still do have a Super Bowl to play. There is 3 football games to go, but it just feels like as far as matchups go, Rams Seahawks, this is pinnacle business, man. So, and also the first time so far this playoffs that the Rams are actually underdogs for this one. So favored for the last 2 games against the Panthers as well as the Bears. And then, of course, this one, underdogs to the Seahawks. But just 2.5 points, and it does depend on where you look. I've seen it up to 4 on some books, and I've seen it 1.5 on some books. So depending on what you're checking out there. But as far as weather goes in this one, high of 44, low of 36, so nothing crazy. That window's very snug. I'm from Colorado, so I'm used to like a difference of like 20 degrees between highs and lows. That's pretty standard, but just a couple degrees, essentially. This is what, only 8 degrees difference. So that's good news, but also nothing like last week. It could be a little bit wet in this one. We do see it's like an 18% chance during the day and then something around like mid-30s at night, but it kind of increases as the evening goes on. So I'm not sure if we're going to get any rain. If it does happen, then it should be fairly light, but again, we'll see. And Pants Picks. We don't have Pants Picks, of course, but I do want to let you know the Rams did announce just before I started recording that they will be in the white jersey with royal pants, a combo that they wore the previous 2 games. Seems to be working. I'm absolutely okay with it. The Seahawks will be in their blue jerseys for this one. No word on pants yet. It's possible those are already out, but I have not seen them. Do know, though, for sure they're dark blue jerseys is what they are wearing. And Seahawks were all blue last week in their playoff game against the 49ers. And again, the Rams worn white on royal the last 2 games. Although I was saying, man, this would be such a fun time to pull out bone pants with the white jersey. We've never done that. And I think a lot of people would hate it. I'd be a big fan. I've tried it. I've seen it on Madden and stuff. It's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool. Take a look at the history of this matchup. This is the 58th all-time meeting between these two. Seahawks lead the all-time series 29-28, so a big win can knot this series up all-time. Rams and Seahawks split this year, each one at home and in their rivalries uniforms. Pretty sick. I did see some people say like how perfect this would be to let these teams wear their rivalries uniforms. Rams rivalries uniforms, I absolutely love. I think they're awesome. I think that I saw a picture with the sole pants with the rivalries jersey. Absolutely incredible. But we do know the rules on those. It's 1 time per year. It's got to be said ahead of time, like way before, like as the season begins, essentially, is when you'll know when you're wearing it. 1 time per season, only for 3 seasons, only in your own home stadium, and only against a divisional opponent. So obviously, Rams couldn't do it. They've already worn theirs and all that stuff. It would be cool, but also I didn't really like theirs that much. I didn't like the Seahawks. They're kind of like shiny and kind of like mermaidish. I don't know. I didn't love those. Rams I thought was sick. Patriots was really sick. Jets was really sick. I actually kind of like the Cardinals ones. I don't know how a lot of people did. I didn't like the Niners, though. I thought those were pretty corny. But either way, rivalries jerseys they're awesome, man. I like the concept of it all, but not all of them look good. Dolphins, I'm looking at you. Those weren't very cool. Yeah. Bills, those were not cool. I didn't like those ones at all. So, yeah. We'll see what happens next year when another 2 divisions get added in. That's kind of crazy, too, that we'll be seeing those rivalries jerseys like still being released when the Rams are done with theirs and like had been done for years kind of thing. That is certainly possible. That's something that we can see. So, obviously, like I said, the Rams Seahawks split this year. First ever. This series goes all the way back to Halloween of 1976. The Rams won that game 45-6. Would love to see a repeat of that action. And this is going to be the third postseason meeting between these two teams. The first two were both in wild card weekend, so this is the first time NFC Championship game for these two teams. The first one was the 2004 season. The Rams beat the Seahawks 3 times that year. Absolutely phenomenal. That was really, really fun. I remember watching that one at my mom's place. I just remember losing my mind, man. We actually had to start that one in we were driving to my mom's house, and we had to listen to it on the radio for like the first quarter. And I remember Rams scored a touchdown, I'm like banging on the roof, and they were like, "Will you stop? Will you chill, man?" And it's like, I don't know, man. This is playoffs, and I was just in a hurry, you know. The other time was the 2020 season. The Rams beat the Seahawks after splitting in the regular season. Jared Goff was not named the starter for that game. He was actually pulled as the starter, and John Wolford, the Wolf, he started that game and got hurt almost immediately. And then Jared Goff came in and won. So he was always healthy enough to play that game, but that was your writing on the wall. Yes, that was Jared Goff's last win as a member of the Rams, going on to lose the following game in Green Bay in the divisional round. And then, of course, the story goes that trade happens. Matthew Stafford comes over, and then the Rams were able to push all the way through. But couple of wild card games, and Rams winning both of those so far. So 2-0 against the Seahawks in the playoffs all time. Let's make that 3. Ref assignment for this one, we got Clay Martin, who will be the ref for this one. This is his 8th season as a referee, 11th as an official. This will be his 7th postseason game all time, and first playoff game of this season, which I thought that was a little interesting that you would put somebody who hasn't been there yet. But I'm sure that was the plan all along. But either way, he was the ref for the Rams-Bucks game this season. That was on Sunday Night Football. That's sweet giveaway action. And a big old win for the Rams. So that was pretty cool. That was the only time he reffed a game for the Rams this year. Before that, previous season, Rams 49ers and Rams Seahawks, both Rams wins. Seems like the Rams have a really good history with Clay Martin, so hopefully that continues. The most recent game that Clay Martin did at all was the Patriots and Dolphins. That was January 4th, so it's been a little bit. Obviously, lots of action that we're looking at in this game. There's almost too much to get into. I can't even mention everything. There's somebody out there this is going to end, and you're like, you didn't say this, though. It's like, well, I can't say everything because there's so much to get into, and I feel like as I'm like researching this game and I'm looking at the Seahawks and I'm looking at the storylines, it's like, man, I'm going to have to cut stuff out. Like, I can't just talk for 30 hours straight. Although I do know that there are people that would want me to do that, and they would listen to the whole thing, and that's crazy. You guys are crazy, man. But either way, the Rams side on this one, we did what we came to do, which was make the NFC Championship game. And it feels a lot like our season starts now. Maybe that's the wrong way to look at it, but I do kind of agree with what Davante Adams was saying when he was on the Rams revealed with J.B. Long earlier this season, which actually wasn't, it was fairly late in the season. It was just before he got hurt, I want to say. So, it's, it kind of felt like this was where it's at. And then I saw a stat today, actually, that said that this was Davante Adams' 5th NFC championship game. And, I guess NFC, but, and has never made it to the Super Bowl. So 5 seems like a lot. That seems like more than I was expecting, but yeah, if that's the case, man, he kind of said it that I saw the quote. I didn't see him say this, so I don't know if it was like one of those made up quotes, but talking about how like the Super Bowl is just like this elusive thing, man. It's like this almost like a mythical thing that just you get so close and then it gets just, taken away from you. So for Davante in his career, I think that it would just be very nice to get that, get the appearance in there at least. But again, that was kind of like the story from we go back all the way to last year where that Eagles game ended, and it was very much like this team is still good enough to do this. In fact, probably coulda, shoulda, woulda won that game. Doesn't matter now. But it was one of those things where we still felt like we were one of the best football teams in the NFL. And obviously we go through the full season. There's certain games where you're not playing as well as you want to and stuff like that. But hey, that happens. You're not going to be just the best team every weekend. In fact, I understand how cool that would be for like a little bit, but eventually it'd get pretty boring. You know what I mean? It's like those times when I'm like 12 years old playing Madden and my dad's like, what are you doing? And it's like, It's like, oh, just winning my 18th straight Super Bowl. What are you up to? Haven't lost a game, dude. And then he's like, is that fun? Like, you need it to be difficult. Keep it exciting. But obviously, with the way the Rams season ended last year, we knew that coming into this year that these were the expectations. To be playing in this game was the minimum expectation. Anything less than playing this weekend felt like a failure. And it's not, because we are, which is rather exciting. 4 teams left. We are 25% of the NFL teams still playing football. That feels pretty dang good. Last season, like I said, we felt like we were better than where we finished as far as losing in the divisional round. Just felt like we were a better football team than that. We just have the perfect opportunity to prove this year that we are for sure better than that. And I mean, obviously we're top 2 in the NFC right now. There's only 2 left. But it does just kind of feel like we need to solidify that just a little bit. And then Rams Seahawks was absolutely insanely close all season. So you couldn't ask for, like, as a football fan, take out your Rams fandom if you have to. But as a football fan, having these 2 teams in the 2 games that they had this season, to have this be the NFC Championship game, I think is just pinnacle football. That's just absolutely top tier. So we're all here for that, obviously. And what the Seahawks did last week and what the Rams did in Chicago, it doesn't mean anything. And I think I'm mainly saying that to people who think that just because the Seahawks won big and the Rams won in overtime, that Seahawks are just going to do that again. And it's like, first of all, it was like a degree in Chicago, and the 49ers just looked absolutely god-awful, man. So I don't know if I take too much from last week and say, like, okay, just because, this happened last week, so this is going to happen this week. I just don't buy into any of that. Like, it's just a one-off. This is a one-off game. This is a standalone. So absolutely anything can happen. And I'm not looking to last week to make myself feel better or worse going into this matchup for sure. But this is, like I said, standalone, and it feels like the Rams should feel confident heading into this game. Seahawks should too, obviously, but from the Rams' perspective, that's the only perspective I can truly speak from, is it does just feel like the Rams should be able to kind of just handle business in this game in a setting where you're comfortable. We've been here plenty of times before recently, this season, late season too, as far as like a Thursday night December action at Lumen Field. So the Rams do have experience being here. It is a little bit more of a comfort thing. Didn't play Chicago at all this year, so that was a little bit different as far as that perspective goes. And then also that last time that the Rams and Seahawks played, I believe that was week 16. Yeah, that sounds right. Devontae Adams was not there for that one. So Puka Nacua went off for 225 receiving yards, which is absolutely insane. And we didn't even have the other guy, the other Hall of Famer that's out there. So pretty sweet stuff there, man. And it just kind of feels like the Rams really need to win this game to prove that they belong in the upper echelon. I don't know if that's crazy or not, but it just, like, I don't know. I'm getting this vibe of, like, people just kind of feel like the Rams are pretenders. And maybe I'm misinterpreting the reports and the things that I'm seeing, but it just kind of feel like people are just like, well, yeah, Rams were cool, but Seattle, and it's like, well, hold on, we're pretty sick too, guys. Like, it's like we got the probable MVP and 2 Hall of Fame wide receivers, an incredible offensive line, one of the best coaches of all time who turns 40 on Saturday, dude. That's absolutely insane. So I take all that and it feels like the Rams are just kind of being a little bit, I don't know, another Super Bowl appearance. I think that kind of just puts everybody, it puts Stafford, it puts McVay, it puts, Kyron Williams and Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua, and the other guys on the defense too, Quentin Lake and stuff like that. It puts them in this conversation of like, no, they can get it done. And that's the big important part here. And there's not very many Rams that played in the previous Super Bowl. Stafford, Higbee, like those guys, and McVay, it's like those guys are the ones that are like, yeah, that's the core, And in fairness, we've kind of got a new core now, but that is kind of what I'm feeling. And maybe, yeah, like I said, maybe my perspective is a little bit off there, but that's kind of just the vibe that I get. It feels like any reasonable football fan is just saying that this game could go either way. And that feels extremely real. Like anybody that I feel that I've talked to that understands the game of football, they kind of just like, that's a toss-up, dude. Like it really could be one play that decides that whether that's a mistake or an amazing play that happens, who knows? But the truth is, we are in what we consider the best era, what we can consider the best era of Rams football of all time. I feel comfortable saying that. For a team that started in the 30s, this might be the single best time to be a Rams fan, which is crazy. Matthew Stafford will be 38 next season. So we don't know how long this combination will last of, Stafford and McVay and all these guys, but I think ultimately, and I do this fairly often, every once in a while I kind of pop in with your reminder just to take a second and just enjoy the fact that this team is in another NFC Championship game and call it what it is, man. Yeah, absolutely. We think we believe this team can win this game. The Seattle Seahawks are a very good football team too. It's certainly possible in the realm of the world, in realistic possibilities, that the Seahawks win this football game. So I think that for my own self, I like to just take a second just to kind of appreciate the fact. I just remember stuff like the 09 season and stuff like that, and just remember that what sketchy stuff I would have done to see the Rams play in an NFC Championship game. And now we have it. And now we've had it 3 times in the last 9 years. 8 years, really. I mean, that's awesome. That's absolutely phenomenal. So that's my reminder to you. Just drink it in. Drink it in that we are just absolutely awesome right now. We are in the NFC Championship once again with a shot at this Super Bowl. 3rd time in 8 years that the Rams have made the NFC Championship game, and that's coming after 13 years since a playoff win. 13-year gap in between playoff wins, and now we've been to 3 NFC Championship games in 8 years. If that can't fire you up, man, I don't know what to tell you. On the Seahawks side, though, Sam Darnold, he had a season that basically solidified that last season wasn't bogus and that he is a decent quarterback. What I'll say about that, though, is that I don't think it's impossible that playoff Sam shows up for this one. Considering how last game went, there was no pressure situations for Sam Darnold, so we didn't get to see if playoff Sam still exists. Just saying. Mike McDonald has kicked a new era of Seahawks football in just the exact right way. It sucks as a rival, obviously, but they're going to be a problem for as long as he's there. He's an extremely good coach. So I'm just kind of hoping, he kind of blows it for like 2 seasons and they just kick him out. But he's an incredible coach. And honestly, that's kind of awesome. We have Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, and Mike McDonald in this division. That's so much fun. If the Arizona Cardinals can never figure out what the heck they're doing, then this could be really, really cool. But as long as us 3 are in it, still fun, man. Still fun. And then defense right now for the Seattle Seahawks, insane. That's like my only comment about that. They're playing great football. Let's take a look at some milestones here. Sean McVay has 10 playoff wins before turning 40. Absolutely phenomenal. He does turn 40 on Saturday, meaning that the NFC Championship game is the first playoff game for Sean McVay in his 40s. And in fact, his first game in his 40s, obviously, because that's how time works, which is pretty cool. And no other coach has more than 5 playoff wins, I believe, before turning 45. I thought that was the number that I saw. So he's doubled that, and he's got 5 more years to add to it. Pretty sick stuff there. Matthew Stafford needs 195 passing yards to pass Donovan McNabb for 17th most all-time in postseason history. With a 300-yard game, he would reach 15th, passing McNabb, Terry Bradshaw, as well as Troy Aikman. With a pop like he had the last time these two teams played, 457 yards, he would reach 12th, passing Kurt Warner. He would be barely passing him. Top 10 does require a jump of almost 500 yards, though, from where like 10th or 11th to 10th. It's like a 500-yard jump, so that's pretty extreme there. And then he does need 1 passing touchdown to tie Troy Aikman for 18th most in NFL postseason history, 2 to tie Roger Staubach and Donovan McNabb for 16th most in postseason history. He currently is the 8th best passer rating in postseason history. Number 1, Baker Mayfield. Pretty sick. Devontae Adams needs 6 receptions to tie Andre Reed, 10th all-time in postseason history. Would need 8 for Irvin to tie Irvin, 9 to tie Wes Welker and Hines Ward. So with a big day, can certainly get into those conversations as well. But he's already in the conversation as like one of the sickest of all time, which is pretty cool stuff. With a 100-yard game, Devontae Adams would reach 13th most in postseason history. He would pass John Stallworth, Anquan Bolden, Art Monk, and Drew Pearson. Big names there. With 1 receiving touchdown, he would reach 10th most in postseason history, joining Reggie Wayne, Lynn Swann, Steve Smith, and Andre Reed with 2 receiving touchdowns. He reached 5th most in postseason history, joining Fred Biletnikoff, Larry Fitzgerald. Crazy that was basically in one run. Antonio Freeman, Randy Moss, and Hines Ward. Also looking at Cody Durant, he is currently tied for 37th most postseason interceptions with a bunch of dudes, though. With just 1, would jump up to tied for 18th. Pretty sweet stuff there, man. All-time leaders all have 9, and that would be Ed Reed, Bill Simpson, Charlie Waters, and Ronnie Lott. He needs 5 to get into that conversation, though. He's only at the 4 right now. Take a look at the former Rams who are currently on the Seattle Seahawks. We do have wide receiver Cooper Kupp. You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Hope it burns you this weekend, Kupp. And linebacker Ernest Jones IV. That was never our intention to have him end up on a rival, I would assume, considering we traded him to the AFC. But he's playing absolutely phenomenal, so nothing really bad to say about him, except for I hope he doesn't have a great game in this one. He seems to be all over the place, and he seems to be motivated as hell. So, scary player. Stay away from him. And then offensive passing game coordinator Jake Peetz, who spent some time with the Rams. That also reminds me that passing game coordinator and run game coordinator is like a new thing for some people, that they're like just learning about those job titles right now. Maybe it's just us out in the NFC West, because it feels like at least us in Seattle have done that for a long time. I think that the Niners have done it here and there. And then I know the Cardinals did at least for a couple years, but maybe I'm the weird one, man. But I've seen a bunch of people that are like, passing game coordinator, what is that? And it's like, where have you been? It's like, that's been a thing for a while, my guy. So I don't know, man. That's kind of crazy to me. But either way, let's take a look at the matchup of this one. We'll dig into the Rams offense going against the Seahawks defense. Rams offense at the near top. They're 2nd in the league, but that Seahawks defense 5th in the NFL. Passing the football, no one better than the Rams. 1st ranked unit, top 10 for that Seahawks defense. And rushing the ball, Rams got better at this ranking as the season kind of got late. 7th in the NFL, going against the 3rd-ranked run defense in Seattle. And average points being put up over 30 for the Rams. That's best in the league, but going against a very stingy Seahawks defense, giving up just over 17. That is best in the league. 3rd down, Rams near middle of the road, where the Seahawks are number 1, giving up only 32.1. So obviously, very, very good defense, but very, very good offense, man. This Seahawks defense is all over the place, but the Rams offense can just turn it on at any moment. Any single play can be popped off for a major gain or points. Absolutely. This is quite the like unstoppable force, immovable object kind of thing, you know? Obviously, we know that defense can absolutely ruin your day, but knowing that these teams know each other, the Rams should be able to, if the Seahawks are kind of jumping out on them a little bit and kind of like stifling them, they should be able to make some adjustments and then be able to flip it and start turning and start moving the football. But then obviously Seattle will make their adjustments, and this is going to be a very, very big coaching game, but also very big individual effort game. So it's kind of twofold in that way, where obviously game plans are going to matter a lot, and making those in-game adjustments are going to be absolutely huge. But ultimately, too, it's going to be players just making the plays. You can draw up the right play, but if, guys can't get open, or, tackles can't be broken and stuff like that, then things go poorly, man. Things go poorly. Opposing players that we're keeping our eyes on, we're going to start with linebacker Ernest Jones. Talked about him already a little bit, but second team All-Pro this year. He's having an awesome season, man. He plays the pass extremely well, and he had a pick last week against the 49ers. He's just one of those players, man. He's all over the place. I don't know, man. It's so weird to me to know that he's not a Ram, and just that we don't know why, Could you imagine him next to Landman? I mean, that would be crazy, but there was something there, something happened, and the Rams decided it was time to move on from him. They traded him to the Tennessee Titans, who then traded him to the Seattle Seahawks. So again, I just don't think it was our intention to have him on a rival, but that's how it happened. That's how it shook out. So Tennessee was like, nah, I don't care about y'all, man. And that's like, cool, Tennessee, thanks for that, man. Anywhere else, man, it's like, that's like the Packers refusing to let Favre go to a divisional opponent, and then the Jets are just like, yeah, I don't care. Like, do what you got to do, man. Vikings? Sure. heck yeah, go have fun. It's like, well, hold on. But either way, Ernest Jones, phenomenal season, second team All-Pro, like I'd mentioned. They're happy they've got him, and we're still confused. So there's that. Next up, cornerback Devin Witherspoon. He is a Pro Bowler, second team All-Pro. He only played in 12 games this year, but he is one heck of a player, man. He can absolutely take out one of your guys. And luckily, the Rams have multiple weapons. So tough task. But again, Witherspoon, he's a very, very good player. And defensive tackle Leonard Williams, Pro Bowler, second team All-Pro, 7 sacks on the year, but also so does Byron Murphy. That duo there in the center, absolutely insane. They are, that's tough, man. Steve Coleman and Kevin, they definitely got a fight this week. I think that I like our guys a lot, but hey, those guys are very, very talented as well. And we kind of know some stories about like Byron Murphy and some interest from the Rams there as far as like draft stuff goes. But Leonard Williams, he's been around for a bit, obviously former Jet and all that stuff. But yeah, very, very stout up front. So running directly into the middle of this defense is going to be quite the job. We'll see if they even make those attempts. And on the Rams side, our 3 to see, we're going to start with Matthew Stafford. We need some souls stolen, and there's one man for the job. The soul snatcher himself, man. So Stafford, obviously, this is the moment for a guy like Matthew Stafford. You get to the NFC Championship game, it's going to be a lot warmer than it was last week, even though mid-40s. So it's just one of those times where it's like, you know what? You went off on them last time. Do it again. Again. Another one, But Stafford is in what is maybe likely an MVP campaign, and he has put the Rams in position each of the last 2 games to end up closing it out, obviously getting the touchdown against the Carolina Panthers and then driving it down after that sweet little like jacket flip off thing and then converts a third down to Puka. Absolutely incredible. But Stafford, man, he's doing awesome. He had a weird little gap in there last week where he seemed really off. But he told Sean that he would be better. And then Sean was like, no, man, I was the one that was messing up. I'll be better. They sounded like 2 drunk friends who like, they're like hadn't seen each other in a little while. And so they get together at the bar and like, no, dude, I got to be better at calling, man. I got to do better. Like, I love this, man. And they're just like, no, man, phones work both ways, dude. I got to call. Like, that's what it kind of reminded me of. Not based on personal experience. But Stafford is the personality his team will take on in this week. And it just feels like he's all business, but in a calm, cool, fun way, He's the cool boss, But he seems like he's just in control, and the Rams should enter this game with confidence. The last time this game was on a short week, so the game plans were not as in-depth. I do anticipate a little bit more planning, as you would expect for an NFC Championship game, but simply we just have more time to be able to do it. I think that the game plans will just be more in-depth, a little bit more intentional with where you're attacking and why. Next up, Kyren Williams, unbelievable last week, and it feels like that's not being said enough, and I don't know why, but he may be very well embedded into what we can call playoff Kyren, because it's going well right now. He's in the playoff Kyren era, and we're fired up about it, man. 2 touchdowns last week. He just needed to do what he needed to do. He did it, man, when it needed to be done. Kyren does it, man. He had 70 yards in the first, in the last meeting between these two in Seattle, but now playoff Kyren is here. So just saying. And also that was the game that Kevin Dotson, K-Dots, that he exited with an injury. And I know some people are like, yeah, but he was there. It was like, yeah, it was the first quarter he was out, though. So that's a pretty good chunk of game that Justin Dedich had to be out there and holding it down. And then, I mean, we know Dedich had that penalty that probably should have been picked up because apparently they can do that. They can just look at it and be like, oh, that's not right. Pick that up. Good play. So what the heck, man? But that game was a little bit fishy like that. But Kevin Dotson back in this one of the best offensive linemen in the entire NFL. Never a bad thing when one of those guys back on your squad. Last up here, we'll go Puka Nacua. He had 225 last game against the Seattle Seahawks, and it feels reasonable that Puka Nacua could go off again because Puka Nacua is a guy who goes off often. Seattle, man, he knows this team as well, so it could absolutely happen. And mainly, I'm putting Puka here and not Devontae because Devontae didn't play in that last game and Puka still did Puka things, man. And that's not to say that I don't think that Devontae is going to have a big game, and he may have a statistically more potent game than Puka Nacua. Absolutely. But I think that just the way that he went off and now the fact that there's going to be extra eyeballs away from Puka, I love that, man. It just feels perfect, man. It feels like no matter what kind of monster activities Devontae Adams brings to the offense, you can't hold back a Puka Nacua. He's gonna hurt your soul at some point. And if he doesn't, well, we still got Devontae Adams, man. Like, I feel like one of these guys can be doing some damage at some point during this game. You know what I mean? But one of those ridiculous human beings is going to have a big, big moment, and it could be either. It really could. But I'm going to go. If I'm a betting man, and I am, Puka is my pick on that one. And the biggest key here for the Rams offense, I'm going to say finishing drive with points and limiting turnovers, which is always reasonable. That's always the case. That's like saying, like, if you want to win the game, you got to put up more points than them. You know, it's like one of those John Madden things. That's not my John Madden impression, by the way. That'd be so bad. But it's one of those, man, where it's like it just feels like it's obvious, but again, it is also real. That's why it's so obvious. But Stafford wasn't intercepted by the Seahawks this season. He will need that to continue. And the Rams are much more healthy this time around and need to take advantage of not having any starters out right now, except for Havenstein. That's it. But also McClendon has come in and has probably earned that job. It also feels like Havenstein probably could have come back by now and hasn't. So McClendon may just be our right tackle from here on out. And I mean, like going into next year and stuff like that, not just the rest of this season, because this season I would assume so. But do we want to shoot out or do we want to limit possessions? That's kind of hard to say right now. What will they try to do to us? You know, that's going to be the other caveat of that is, are they bombing it on us or are they trying to go third and short and convert kind of thing? Because I think that we'll need to adjust depending on how they treat this game. But either way, I feel like this will be a game we need to feel out for a little bit. So if on first, second, third drives, you're not seeing where you're like, oh my God, boy, this is going to be terrible, I would say I'll venture to not panic, okay? Because I do think that we'll just need some time to adjust and kind of see what they're trying to do, what we want to do, and then try to negate that. Flip over to the other side here. Rams defense against that Seahawks offense. Seahawks on offense, top 7 unit. The Rams middle of the road there, about 345 a game, obviously. So passing the football, top 8 unit for Sam Darnold and the Seahawks. The Rams 19th against the pass. Running the rock, top 10 unit for the Seahawks offense, going against the 12th ranked unit in the Rams defense against the run. Average points being put up about 28.5 for the Seahawks. That's 3rd in the NFL. The Rams 10th in points given up at a little over 20. Third down, middle of the road for the Seahawks offense, and the Rams tied for 7th against third down. So really not bad there. And when you're looking at these numbers, I mean, obviously you see that the Seahawks offense can get it done. They can move it. And, 7th ranked in yards, but 3rd in points. I mean, they get it done, man. So obviously you don't need to put up, 28.4 per game when your defense is only given up 17, but that just gives them a little bit of wiggle room in that sense. And most of the season, that's been the case. But the Rams defense played really well last week. Almost fell victim to what is the cardiac bears, which not alliteration, but I do appreciate it. I actually saw that on Rams House last week. Had his dad on, who was a Bears fan. Very great conversation. That was so much fun to listen to. Just to see like a father-son conversation like that about a game was rather awesome. His dad said one thing that I absolutely loved, which was like, don't count on the cold to win you this game. You need to go do it as the Bears. Loved that line. Didn't talk about it nearly enough last week, how much I liked that line, but I do think that's very real. But I think it was Rams House that called them the cardiac bears. I was like, kind of love that. Definitely stealing it. But their late game magic, man, we almost fell victim to it. So 3 interceptions last week for the Rams defense, no sacks. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. All right. Sam Darnold is a sackable quarterback. He is also a pickable quarterback. Playoff Sam, man. He knows how to get the Rams the football. Let's take a look at the opposing players that we're keeping our eyes on, starting with Kenneth Walker, running back. over 1,000 yards rushing on the season, had 116 last week against the 49ers in a blowout. So they were definitely just kind of getting out of there. But their touchdown guy, Charbonnet, he is out for the season. He tore his ACL. That will impact the beginning of next season as well, just the timing of it. We saw that happen with Tyler Higbee a couple years ago. But Walker, he can certainly get it done. Sharps, though, he is that short yardage guy that like third down. He had more first downs than Kenneth Walker and also had significantly more touchdowns. So their workhorse in that regard is down. But again, Kenneth Walker is an awesome running back. He can catch, he can run. I mean, he's phenomenal. So definitely somebody to still watch out for, even though losing Charbonnet for the Seahawks offense is certainly a rather big deal considering his role in that offense. That's like us losing Devontae Adams in the red zone. I mean, it's that same thing where it's like, okay, now we have to treat these different. We have to think of a new approach for these. And we saw that with the Rams. But also Walker added almost 300 through the air. So like I said, he can catch out of the backfield as well. And next up, we'll go wide receiver Cooper Kupp. I just love this story. It's just fun. It's just fun to talk about Cooper Kupp, man. This is football. It's a game, and I like that a guy that we love, we get to root against him, dude. That's fun. That's fun for me, man. I love Cooper Kupp. I think we all love Cooper Kupp. I hope he does terrible this week. I hope he has like a bunch of drops. I hope he fumbles again like last time. That was rather exciting. I just hope he, does all that stuff because it's fun and I love him. That's why, man, is like after his career's over, it'll be like another thing where it's like, all right, Coop, miss you, man. But hey, you're the enemy now, man. Not just the enemy, the rival, man. Like this is it, man. So it's good stuff. Kupp didn't explode this season for the Seahawks. He has done an awesome job, more on the mental end, I would guess, than just statistically just destroying souls like he did in 2021. He had almost 600 yards this season, his second lowest output of his career. His lowest was 2018, which I thought was rather interesting. But I mean, it makes sense. We had, we had Brandon Cooks. We had, guys like Josh Reynolds on that team. So it was a little bit more spread out. And Cooper Kupp, I think was at what, year 2? So nothing super crazy there. But if there's a game that Cooper Kupp wants to absolutely explode in, you would assume that it is this one, right? That it is absolutely against the Rams in the NFC Championship game. It's like we saw the fired up Cooper Kupp in the NFC Championship game against the Seattle Seahawks. I think that if there's ever a moment for him to kind of have that energy again, it's absolutely in this game for sure. So Cooper Kupp on that list. Third up on the Seahawks side, we're going to go with quarterback Sam Darnold. Playoff Sam. Who the heck are you, man? Who the heck are you? Because the last 2 games for Sam Darnold in the playoffs, well, last week was a blowout. No pressure situations for Sam in any respect, in any regard. So there's obviously, it's just hard to judge him on that. But then the previous one last year against the Rams in Arizona, playing for the Minnesota Vikings, where he definitely looked pretty rough. It went well for us, which is good, but we can't say based on last week that that playoff Sam isn't still, around and doing all that stuff. But I would say, I don't know, man. I'm not sold yet that playoff Sam doesn't show up in this game and he just is just rough. But is he good? Did we turn that corner or not, man? I'm just kind of, I'm not confident to say yes or no to that quite yet. But that's mainly based on last season though, to say that, playoff Sam. And again, it's because of the way his last 2 games have gone. We saw a situation where Sam Darnold got absolutely wrecked last year. And then this year, obviously just had quite the blowout. So no pressure situations, like I said. Let's flip over here for the Rams side, our 3 to see. We're going to start with linebacker Nate Landman. First year as a member of the Rams, obviously, and captain, green dot. He's absolute monster, man. He's all over the place. So obviously Nate Landman is going to be very critical in this one, calling out that defense and getting people in position. It helps quite a bit that Quentin Lake is back into the secondary and getting those guys in position. And you can certainly feel it, out there when you're watching the game. You can kind of tell when Lake is pointing at stuff. It's like, oh man, we've been missing this for sure. And then Lake obviously had a phenomenal game, but Nate Landman, that takes pressure off of Nate Landman to have one of your captains on the back end back in action, who's been extended, both these guys been extended, but to have that confidence in the back end and not needing to kind of look over your shoulder and see what's going on back there. You can kind of just control what's up front. And against a quarterback like Sam Darnold, I mean, that's a dangerous game that you're playing here, man. So that front can be handled by Landman and then the back end handled by Lake. I absolutely love that. Speaking of, Lake is going to be my next on the 3 to see here. Captain Q, he played every single defensive snap last week. The impact was absolutely felt. Rams House said to me, like via text message, I think it was, that hurdle play is one of his favorites of the year now. And I couldn't agree more. That was so much fun to watch, man, to see Darius Williams kind of flip him up like that. And it was kind of like as it was happening, it was like, oh man, he might still be able to get there, And then Quentin Lake just said, nah. And then follow that up with the play that Omar Spates made. I mean, absolutely incredible. So, what's more to say about the way that Quentin Lake played last week, man? It was absolutely phenomenal. But lots of talk about Q needing to kind of get his feet under him, but I think that we absolutely saw that last week, so nothing too crazy there. And then he did miss the last game between the Rams and the Seahawks as well. So we didn't have him in that shootout, that overtime game. And maybe I'm alone, maybe I'm not, but it does feel a lot like if Quentin Lake was playing in that overtime, that possibly the Rams could have come up with a stop. He is that good. He is absolutely that good. And the rest of our secondary is just that sporadic enough and inconsistent where it kind of we just needed one person to make one play. And Quentin Lake's the kind of guy that does that. And we were missing that. Next up here, I'm going to go with Cam Curl. Speaking of guys making plays, man, Cam Curl, obviously, I don't think he gets that much love from the media, which is unfortunate because he fits into this defense incredibly well. He fits what we're trying to do. Seems like, the Chris Shula aspect of it and all that stuff, he just kind of really fits in. I like a lot of our safeties, but Curl and Lake together, they seem to be the combo that just is... Oh, this is just a different level, you know what I mean? So, obviously, Cam Curl and Quentin Lake together, they're all over the place, man. Curl, the tackle ability of Cam Curl is unbelievable, especially from a safety spot. It seems like when he's one-on-one, he's making plays, which you obviously love to see. My key here for the Rams defense, I'm going to say red zone defense, man. I think that's absolutely critical in this one. The Rams play a bend but don't break kind of style, and the last time we played this team, we tried to bend in overtime and ended up breaking. So don't break is the key to that part of it. But the Rams, they like I said, they like to bend but don't break. Broke for the touchdown last time, and it just seems like the Rams have been doing a really good job in short yardage situations. I mean, you could even reference last week in the way that the Rams were playing those short yardage, like within the 5 situations where Ben Johnson at the very end of the game, I mean, he confirmed that he was just like, I didn't feel comfortable sending out for a 2-point conversion considering how they had been playing us in those short yardage situations. So that's why he went with the extra point. I'm sitting there watching this game and I'm like, oh my gosh, man, we are absolutely about to give up a 2-point conversion here if they go, and then I see they're lined up for an extra point. I was relieved, man. I'll be honest. And I know that both teams had a chaotic situation there. It just feels like if you're the Bears, you probably have it in your head like, hey, if we score here, this is our 2-point play, and you could just go. And then the Rams don't expect you to score, so they don't have that set. You could probably do it quick, go down there and punch it in. Glad they didn't try, but I feel like they could have. Or Rams just would have picked it off and won in regulation, and we wouldn't have had to stress so much, which would have been cool because even the touchdown that play was on was absolutely insane. Craziness, man. Craziness. Taking the ball away from Darnold, though, that's going to be wildly helpful, especially if those Rams the Rams can turn those plays into points, not just time off the clock. You know what I mean? So the way that I'm kind of looking at that is I want to see if we do get a turnover, turn it into at least 3. Not just give them the ball back with 2.5 minutes less on the clock now, because it's cool. It's cool to win the field position game and all that stuff. But in a situation like this, man, points are going to be at a premium. We saw that last time. They took a couple from us and all that stuff. We knew that early though, so we had time to adjust, and it just didn't work out. And then they go for that 2-point conversion at the end, man, and closed us out. So that's all of our keys, man. This is fun. Hopefully we get another game preview, dude. I'm not done, man. I'm not ready to stop talking about Rams football, man. It's going to be a long off season. I'm not excited about it. We'll get there when we get there, man. But we're in action right now, man. Final four teams: Rams, Seahawks, Patriots, Broncos, all in for this one. And I know that everybody's got their preferences on who they want to play or who they hate and all that stuff. But I can confidently say, I mean, I've been a Rams fan for as long as I can remember, but I am born and raised in Colorado, and I started playing, video games and all that stuff as a kid, like 11 years old and playing Madden '02 and stuff. And I can't even tell you, man, as a Rams fan from Colorado, how many times I've played a Rams Broncos Super Bowl, man. It's thousands of times, man. And I think that would be really cool. And I know that it's kind of a long shot now, considering the loss of Bo Nix and all that stuff, but I just think that would be absolutely awesome, man. So whatever your rooting interests are, I hope that I'm not going to be picky if the Rams are in the Super Bowl. I'll tell you that much. I don't care who it is, man. I don't care who it is as long as the Rams are there. But just for personal reasons, that would be really fun for me. Anyway, make sure you check us out on Tuna and the Sheriff. That is weekday mornings at 7 a.m. LA time right now, every day until the Rams are not playing football anymore. So that's pretty good stuff. And we'll get into some other stuff as far as offseason and all that goes. We're going to be shaking some stuff up, changing some stuff. We kind of have a vision of where we want that show to go and how we want it to look and stuff. So there's officially a Patreon. We're going to start to kind of figure that out. So I don't have a link for you right now because it's a little early. We just started yesterday. So we'll start kind of curating how we want that to run. And I hope you join us because that's going to be an absolute blast. But Tuna and the Sheriff, that is broadcast live, like I said, 7 a.m. LA time on the First and Tuna Podcast YouTube channel, as well as the Ram Showcase Facebook page. You can check us out there. I will also be on my pregame live stream ahead of the NFC Championship Game, so make sure you join me there as we'll be chatting Rams ball. But other than that, dude, enjoy this game, man. NFC Championship Game, drink it in. Never know when this is going to be the last time, or this might be the last playoff game we watch for the Rams. You know what I mean? Like that's I didn't think that in Atlanta when the Rams lost that game. I didn't think that, that was going to be the last time the St. Louis Rams even played in a playoff game. Didn't think that at all, man. So you never know how fast it can come crashing down. But I think it's time.